Most people don't realize this, but hitting $200,000 invested actually means you're already about halfway to a million. At first glance, that sounds impossible. How can 20% of the final number be the halfway point? But once you see how the math plays out in real time, it becomes obvious that the journey to your first 200,000 is the long, stubborn, uphill climb. And everything after that becomes faster, easier, and dramatically more powerful. Imagine you start from zero and invest just $110 per week. That's the cost of impulse purchases most people don't even remember making. An Amazon click, a cigarette habit, a random night out. Nothing extreme. And let's say you earn a realistic 7% return after inflation. No gimmicks, no unrealistic income assumptions. Just consistency. The first few years feel painfully slow. Your account grows, but you barely feel it. You're doing almost all the work month after month, watching the balance crawl forward. It takes around 12 years just to crack the first 100,000. 12 years. And during that stretch, you've put in more than $68,000 of your own money, while the market has contributed only about $34,000. Technically, yes, your investments are compounding, but it doesn't feel like compounding. It feels like you're dragging a boulder up a hill, waiting for some kind of sign that the effort is worth it. You stay disciplined, you show up, you invest week after week, and nothing dramatic happens. No big jumps, no exciting milestones. Just slow, stubborn progress. Honestly, anyone who survives that first decade deserves a medal, because most people quit during this exact phase. They get discouraged, they get impatient, or they simply can't see the payoff far enough ahead. But if you make it this far, you've passed the hardest level in the entire game. Then something shifts. It's subtle at first. A slightly faster climb, a few bigger jumps in your balance. But by the time you reach year 18, the difference is undeniable. Your account reaches $200,000. What took 12 years to reach the first 100,000 now takes only 6 years to double it. And this is where everything changes. Your contributions total around 105,000, but your investment growth is now about 95,000. For the first time, your money isn't following your lead. It's working right beside you. It's like having a clone matching your weekly savings. You're still investing, sure, but now your portfolio is finally carrying real weight. This is the moment compounding stops being a theory and becomes a partner. And this is why 200,000 is the real halfway to 1 million. Not in dollars, but in time and effort. After this point, the snowball has finally built enough mass to start rolling on its own. If you keep investing the same amount with the same return, you hit 1 million around year 38. And here's the crazy part. By that point, you've contributed roughly $220,000 total. Everything else, more than $780,000, came from your money-making money. You're no longer the engine. You're the person tossing in a little extra fuel while the machine does all the heavy lifting. Think about that. It takes 18 years to get to your first 200,000, but in the next 20 years, your portfolio explodes to 1 million. Same contributions, same return. The only difference is time, and the power of compounding finally doing what it was always meant to do. But the story gets even better. Once you hit a million, your portfolio grows at around $100,000 per year before inflation, or about $70,000 after adjusting for today's buying power. And you don't have to do anything. No overtime, no second job, no late nights. Your money is simply working harder than you ever could. And if you stop contributing entirely at this point, your million would still double to 2 million in just a little over 7 years. Zero new deposits. Your investments become a self-propelling machine. The snowball is rolling downhill so fast that slowing it down would almost be impossible. That's the part most people never experience because they quit too early. They give up during the slow grind and never make it to the phase where compounding becomes effortless, exciting, and ridiculously effective. But the truth is, once you hit 200,000, the momentum shifts permanently. Your money becomes a second income stream that never sleeps, never takes days off, and never asks for a raise. It just works. And something else happens too. Once your portfolio starts growing noticeably, the whole process becomes more motivating. Adding a little extra no longer feels like a sacrifice. It feels like an opportunity. Every contribution starts to feel like throwing gasoline on a fire that finally ignited. And the stronger that fire burns, the more you want to feed it, whether it's an extra $20 here or a bonus there. Even better, as your income rises over the years, those weekly contributions become easier. What felt like a stretch in your 20s feels normal in your 30s and effortless in your 40s. If you redirected just a small slice of those natural income increases into investing, your timeline to a million shrinks dramatically. Double your contribution to $220 per week, and you shave almost a decade off the journey. Triple it to $330 per week, and you're hitting a million in roughly 24 years. And you accomplished all this without extreme frugality. No sleeping in your car, no surviving on noodles, no denying yourself joy or pretending life has to be miserable to be wealthy. You simply chose to be intentional with your money instead of letting it disappear on things you won't even remember next month. So when people say 200,000 is just 20% of a million, they're missing the real point. Getting to 200,000 means you've already made it through the hardest, slowest, most discouraging stretch of the journey. From here on out, compounding takes the lead. Your money starts doing the heavy lifting, and the climb to 1 million becomes less about grinding and more about letting time do what time does best. You don't need luck, genius, or a massive income. You just need consistency long enough to reach the tipping point. And once you do, the path to a million becomes not just possible, but almost inevitable. Thanks for watching InvestingFlix, where smart money learns smarter moves. Subscribe for more insights that grow your wealth.